know me from such podcasts as Or Maybe It's the Cough Syrup, where we dive headfirst into the strange, the digital, and occasionally the downright cosmic. I'm Brock Chestnut, former romance novel cover model, now purveyor of luxury cigars to billionaires, and your curator of curiosities in the modern world. Today's deep dive takes us into something big, something shaping how the next generation learns, works, and thinks. So pour yourself something sparkling, settle in, and let's get into it. Chestnut solo version. All right, let's dive right in. When generative AI tools like ChatGPT exploded onto the scene back in late 2022, it wasn't just a tech story. It landed right in the middle of K-12 schools. Homework, essays, even how kids learn, it all got thrown into chaos. That chaos quickly turned into urgency, because technologists across the board were saying the same thing. AI is going to reshape every industry, every single one. So suddenly, AI literacy stopped being optional. It became a core skill, something kids would need to survive in the world they're actually going to graduate into. And the pressure wasn't just coming from teachers or parents, it was coming from the top. Richard Kalata, CEO of ISTE and ASCD, said future employers will expect people to know how to work with AI. Then came a presidential executive order in April 2024 pushing for AI integration across all of K-12 education. The message was clear: schools have to get this done and fast. So let's unpack this. What exactly is AI literacy? How are schools trying to teach it? And what are the biggest roadblocks, especially when it comes to getting teachers ready for all this? The U.S. Department of Education offered a broad definition. AI literacy is the technical knowledge, durable skills, and future-ready attitudes required to thrive in a world influenced by artificial intelligence. Sounds good, but what does that actually mean? Well, it means students should be able to engage with AI, create with it, manage it, even design it, and crucially, evaluate it critically. That's a massive scope. To make it workable, most experts group AI literacy into three connected pillars. First, foundational understanding. This is the what is it and how does it work part. Understanding that AI is built on algorithms and data, not magic. The goal is to demystify the technology. Second, practical engagement. Students become users and creators, learning to prompt effectively, brainstorm, analyze, and collaborate with AI as a real tool. And third, ethics and responsibility. That's where students learn to question accuracy, bias, privacy, safety, and misinformation to build a responsible AI identity. All three pillars, understanding, doing, and ethics, have to grow together. Now, how do you actually teach all this to students from kindergarten through high school? It's called a spiral progression. Start simple, build complexity. In the early grades, it's all about curiosity. Teachers use hands-on, unplugged activities, no heavy tech talk. For example, in Passaic, New Jersey, even fourth graders discuss self-driving cars and robot vacuums. One teacher modeled a chatbot, then asked, "If this helped you write a story, would it be okay to sell it?" Boom, ethics introduced early. And one second grader said they already knew AI could give wrong answers. That moment opened the door to explaining hallucinations and why AI guesses based on patterns, not knowledge. That's foundational literacy right there. By middle school, grades 6 through 8, lessons get deeper. Schools start talking about bias, algorithms, and digital citizenship. Washington County, Maryland uses library media specialists to teach how AI affects social media, facial recognition, and privacy. Even deep fakes. Then in high school, things shift toward career relevance. Mosaic District, for instance, offers classes covering algorithms and ethics. Florida's Career and Technical Education program now includes foundations of machine learning and procedural programming. Serious stuff. Some districts even have AI acceptable use rubrics, guidelines that spark conversations about responsible use before assignments begin. But here's the catch. All of this depends on one thing: teachers. And that's where the system hits a wall. Most teachers don't have a computer science background. They're learning AI right alongside their students. The professional development gap is massive. Teachers need more than tech tutorials. They need a redefinition of their role, from being the source of information to becoming designers of learning. That's a fundamental identity shift. Experts call it developing an AI educator identity, and it takes sustained support, not one-off workshops. Many teachers feel anxious, afraid they can't answer student questions about AI. Some even ask for co-teaching support from tech specialists just to feel comfortable. Professional development has to be practical. Real lesson plans, real examples, tools teachers can use the very next day. And all of it is harder without clear, consistent standards. That lack of top-down guidance leaves everyone improvising. Now, underneath all the logistics is a deeper philosophical tension. How much AI is helpful, and when does it start getting in the way of actual learning? That's the cognitive effort versus skill enhancement debate. On one side, skeptics warn that AI offloads too much mental work. If the AI outlines your essay, are you really learning how to write, or just managing a tool that does it for you? The struggle, they argue, is the learning. Skip that, and you skip the growth. On the other side, the integration camp says AI is here to stay. Schools should focus on how to use it strategically, to build the skills that matter in the future workplace. So how do teachers balance those views? Many are rethinking assessment. Instead of grading the final essay, they ask students to submit their chat transcript with the AI. That way, teachers can see how the tool was used. Was it brainstorming or copy-paste? It's accountability built into the process. Some even ask students to present their AI-assisted work live without notes. If you can explain it clearly, you've learned it. That's the goal. AI as assistant, not replacement. So where does that leave us? The long-term vision is clear. Schools want to develop students who are both critical consumers and creative collaborators with AI, people who can use it ethically, skillfully, and responsibly. But to get there, schools need consistent standards, real teacher training, and systemic integration. Because AI literacy can't just be another add-on, the day's coming when it won't be a separate subject taught by a tech specialist. It'll be infused into everything: English, history, science, art. And here's the real question for every district leader listening. How long can schools keep treating AI literacy as just one more thing piled on an overflowing plate? At what point do we stop adding it and start embedding it into the very core of learning itself? That's the leap still ahead for K-12 education in the age of AI. I'm Brock Chestnut. This has been a deep dive. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you next time. And that's going to do it for today's deep dive. I'm Brock Chestnut, reminding you to stay curious, stay skeptical, and above all, stay human. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find more of my musings over on Run One. Or maybe it's the cough syrup, available wherever fine podcasts are consumed. And hey, if you learned something new today, tell a friend, or tell two. It really helps more than you think. Now, before we part ways, a quick reminder. This show is synthesized and narrated through NotebookLM, curated by humans, and fact-checked with real sources. The opinions, however, are entirely my own and occasionally questionable. Until next time, friends, keep your mind open and your search history clean.